doing out there today? This is your boy Roto Beast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy, aka DFS Dudes, and we're here to present you our NBA morning shoot around for Tuesday, December 18th. If you're new to this channel, please make sure and click the subscribe button below. This week I watch all of our NBA, NFL, and MLB videos. If you haven't come and checked out our website here at dfscheatsheet.com, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, daily Fanduel, and Draftkings cash lineups. Hey, we're truly a one-stop shop for all your DFS needs. So make sure to check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com. So, hey, how you doing out there, Jeremy?
Yo, what's up, man? Another day in the books. We're on tomorrow. Nice little 4-game slate. Let's hop into it.
Yeah, man, for sure. So, and real quick, before we do jump into this video, if you guys don't mind, please take that quick second for me down, click that like button down below for me, and that helps me out a lot, and I really appreciate you guys doing that for me. So yeah, man, let's just jump into this slate. So,
Yeah, that's wrong.
4-game slate. I think it's a decent slate. Is what I'm gonna say about it. There are some spots that we could definitely attack on this slate. I think pretty much every single game, in my opinion, could get out of hand and be a blowout. I mean, it's just kind of one of those slate once again. But yeah, man. So we'll just get started. First game that we're gonna go with is gonna be the Cleveland Cavaliers going into Indiana to face the Pacers. This game has a 207.5 over under, and Indiana is favored by 12.5 in this one.
Yeah, hey, real quick, one thing I want to say, if you haven't gone on our site right now, we have a bunch of content that is it's open to everybody. There's a crush spot for NBA, there's a game preview you could access, Vegas odds you could access, our value street you can access, our core play video that you can access. So all this stuff when the year turns over is going to go member only. If you're not, it's like a free preview right now. If you're not checking out the content, hop onto the site, check out the articles. The crush spot we had today absolutely smashed. Our writer was on Emmanuel Mudiay. The dude goes off for 50. He was in there. He had Nurkic in his crush spot. He went off. He had Devin Booker in his crush spot. He went off. So our crush spot's 5 players, one at each position every single day. Make sure you check out the content. So, yeah, I'm ready to hop into it, man. I just want to make sure I mention that because there's a ton of good content for NFL, NBA, and NHL up right now. If you're playing NHL, you're watching our video because you're doing both NBA and NHL.
Yeah, hey, we're definitely growing, bro. I'm very, very excited about how things have been going for us, for the website, for the optimizer. We were just talking about how the optimizer tonight, everybody was on Bogdanovich, including myself. I thought Bogdanovich was in a great spot for Sacramento, and the Sacramento starters ended up not playing after 8 minutes left in the second quarter. That's the kind of night it was for Sacramento. And you had Bijalika, who was like 90% owned, so he didn't really matter. But Bogdanovich really hurt us. And the optimizer, it was more on Middleton, and they were almost the same price, but ended up adjusting some stuff. And yeah, man, I had too much Sacramento tonight.
Hey, bro,
Was that the
quick question for you? How many minutes? This is a redundant question. How many minutes are in an NBA game?
48.
The Sacramento starters tonight combined played 46 minutes. You got 5 minutes out of Bjelica. You got 7 minutes out of Willie Cauley-Stein. De'Aaron Fox played 6 minutes. Buddy Hield led the way. He played 18 minutes, and Bogdanovich played 10 minutes. Yeah. Buddy Hield took 13 shots. The other 3 guys combined, or the other 4 guys combined in the starting lineup, took 13 shots.
Yeah. That's just like crazy. Like the coach was just pissed. Like, you guys are fucking starting off like this. Did you sit your asses down? I'm gonna let these dudes play. It's pretty much what happened.
But the reason I'm mentioning that now is that Bogdanovich was he was a good play. The process that NBA is very difficult right now. It's very difficult. I've tweeted out at FanDuel. I've told VIP reps, look, it's hard for us to recommend that our users play hard on FanDuel. Mike Conley again tonight. The dude, like you mentioned last night or this morning, that you thought I'd be on Mike Conley. 45 minutes before lock, Conley gets ruled out, bro. There's no reason why I can't late swap that guy. It's stupid.
Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely.
Who knew going in that you get 46 minutes out of 5 guys combined tonight for Sacramento? Just
Yeah,
tough. It's just
I
tough.
thought I thought he was just gonna like teach him a lesson and just like start the other guys the second half and maybe bring them in late the third. And nah, bro, they just never came back. I'm just like, oh
Who
shit.
who was on Sky Labisseray or Ben McLemore or Yogi Ferrell tonight? Because Yogi Ferrell dropped 16 freaking real points.
Bro, all them dudes that usually play like 8 to 10 minutes, these dudes played like 32 to 33 minutes. Like it's crazy. But yeah, hey, let's get into this slate. Sorry, we're getting off track. I'm gonna repeat which one we're gonna start with first again. First one we're gonna go with is the Cleveland Cavaliers going into Indiana to face the Pacers. This game has a 207.5 over under, and Indiana is favored by 12.5 in this one.
Tristan Thompson is out. John Henson not expected to play. Kevin Love, we know, still out. You start looking at Cleveland and what's going on there. I like Sexton at 5,000. I do. I like Sexton. I like Alec Burks at 4,400. But the guy I like the most is Matthew Dellavedova. I played him on Sunday. The guy went nuts on Sunday. Was really close to taking down an NBA single entry tournament. Was the only NBA entry I actually played. Was on that early only. But 27.9. You can see his recent game history. 21, 26, and 21 minutes. 24, 22, and 27. The guy definitely has the ability to go 6x if he's going to play these kind of minutes. He's the guy I like the most in GPPs tomorrow on this slate. Larry Nance priced up a little bit for this slate, but I do like him. They don't have any other big guys. John Henson, again, not expected to play. And then, we know Tristan Thompson and Kevin Love both are out. Outside of that, they've got Channing Frye. They've started him. I believe they started him in their last game. But Channing Frye's not going to see a ton of minutes, and the guy's not really a big man. He's more of a three-point shooter. So I like Larry Nance on this slate. I think you can probably get him at a little bit of a reduced ownership because he's really been underwhelming, to say the least. But I really like Dellavedova.
Yeah, man. And then on the Indiana side of things, there's a couple guys I really like. First, you got to start off with Oladipo. He's back, and it took one game where he kind of he didn't, his first couple games back, okay, he was, weaving his way in, not doing too bad. Last game against New York, he played very, very well. 26, 8, and 7, 5 steals, 52 fantasy points. 9,600 is a little bit more than I want to pay for this guy, to be honest. I wish he was more like 8,500. I definitely think he's a GPP play, but he is in play. One thing we do got to consider is this game possibly could turn into a blowout. I'm not going to look at Darren Carlson no more. If you look at his numbers on the season, whenever Oladipo is in the lineup with him, the guy his usage is down tremendously, and he's not the same player with Oladipo on the floor. You go to small forward. I like Bogdanovic, 5,200, fair price tag for him. We need 26 for value. He averages 24 on the season. One thing about him, with or with Oladipo, he still gets his minutes, 33 to 35 minutes a game, gets plenty of shots, does a little bit of everything. I think that he is a solid play against Cleveland. And then, you mentioned it, there is no Tristan Thompson, so I like the big guys. This is the problem. You got, right now, Thaddeus Young's minutes have been up, and that's been kind of pretty much making Sabonis' minutes go down. The guy's been 38, 36, 33, 39. So, and he's been playing very well. So it's just like I like the big men for Indiana. I just don't know which one to go with. Sabonis, this possibly could be a blowout, like we mentioned, and maybe he'll get some extra run and get close to 25 to 28 minutes. And I would really like him in this spot. I just don't know if I like the price tag on Sabonis, not knowing how many minutes that he's really going to get. And then you got Miles Turner, 7,500. He's been playing well. The minutes have pretty much been there for him. And, like I mentioned, they really just got Larry Nance on the Cleveland side of things, and that's it. So I like all three of these big guys. I just don't know which one that you really go with. You got any thoughts on that?
From a rotation standpoint, you start looking at this roster, and the guys that are getting minutes really are Corey Joseph, Bogdanovic, Darren Collison, Thaddeus Young, Sabonis, Miles Turner, Oladipo. Very short rotation.
Right.
And now, with Oladipo back, some of those minutes are getting spread out a little bit, or that were being spread out a little bit, are now condensed to Oladipo. I think Bogdanovich is a guy you could look to play.
Yeah.
Really a mismatch. Really
Right.
a mismatch because Cleveland's loaded with perimeter players, right? And he's kind of a hybrid guy. So he can knock down threes. He can, put the ball down on the floor and get to the basket. So, look, from a rebounding standpoint, you have to like Thaddeus Young. You have to like Miles Turner. And you have to like Sabonis. It's just, this is a tournament slate, and this is exactly what you do with them. So with Sabonis and Young priced so close together, I would probably, if I was building 3 lineups, I'd build one lineup that had both of them. I'd build one lineup with Sabonis and one lineup with Thaddeus Young and move on.
Right, I got you. So, and we'll move on to the next game as well. So the next game that we're gonna go with, it's gonna be Washington going into Atlanta to face the Hawks. This game has a 235.5 over under, which is the highest implies total on the slate, and Washington is favored by 4.5 in this one.
Bro, I don't know what happened to John Wall, but this dude had 50.2 fantasy points in the first half against the Lakers.
Yeah.
50 fantasy points in the first half.
Yeah.
I like John Wall tomorrow, man. I think that Atlanta is competitive enough. Vegas agrees with me. It's only a 4.5-point spread. I like John Wall tomorrow, man. I think that this is one of the top plays on the slate. He's priced up on this slate at 10-4, but I think this is a slate where you could definitely get two studs in your lineup. John Wall's a guy I really, really like. No Otto Porter, not expected to play. Sam Decker went nuts against the Lakers. I'm going to tell you this. If Ariza is in, and I have to look at Fanduel, if Ariza is on Fanduel tomorrow in Washington's lineup, lock Ariza in. I noticed that our writer Joel, who does a crush spot, he's got Ariza in there. I don't know. I haven't looked to see if he's rosterable on FanDuel or not, but 4,600 for what Ariza's been doing recently. And you figure Otto Porter's out. We know that already. So you got to replace probably 10 shots. That's right about what Ariza has taken for his career, is about 10 shots in 30 minutes. I love Ariza if he's rosterable on FanDuel at 4,600. So I would look to load up Wall, Ariza if he's rosterable, and he would absolutely take away from Satoransky and Jeff Green. So if Ariza is not rosterable and he's not going to play tomorrow, Jeff Green and Satoransky. If Ariza is playing but FanDuel hasn't updated or DK hasn't updated to where you can roster him tomorrow, do not load up Green and do not load up Satoransky because Ariza is going to eat those minutes.
Right. And then, on the Atlanta side of things, I'm a little confused. And the reason is, well, first thing, you got to always start with Trae Young. 6,900, fair price tag. He can, have that night, any night, where he goes off for 40 to 50 fantasy points. The guy has upside. He, step up to a challenge against John Wall. Think he's a solid GPP play. And then, kind of where I'm at is you got Bazemore. Bazemore, he's actually been playing pretty well for Atlanta, but he's price tags all the way up to 6,800. That's what scared me off Bazemore. If he was a little bit, cheaper, I definitely think he would be, in play. I just don't like the price on him. And it's the same thing for John Collins. John Collins, I don't want to pay 8,200 for this guy, but this guy has been absolutely tearing it up. He's getting his minutes. He's been on fire. So it's like, I don't want to pay 8,200 for a guy, John Collins, who's not really I never really consider him like a kind of like a scorer, but I'm looking at what he's been doing, and the guy's been on absolute fire. What do you think? Do you think 8,200 is a fair? Would you pay that for this guy, bro?
Yes. And
Yes.
I'll give you a couple of reasons. Last year, early this year, the problem with John Collins was he was injured, and then he came back and we needed his minutes to build up. He had one good game, price jumped out of the building, and the minutes weren't there yet. Last year, the problem with John Collins was price was good, but the guy couldn't stay out of foul trouble. He didn't get enough run. He's playing at a super high level. His talent, we both know it's not a question about his talent. The dude's a legit stud.
Question for you. Sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt you. So I seen he's been scoring a lot of points, and I never really looked at him as a scorer. Is he hitting threes, or is he just getting to the hole, or What's going on?
Pick and roll basketball, bro.
Okay.
Pick and roll basketball.
Give me Trey Young.
Look at Trey Young's numbers. Pop up Trey Young's player card real quick and take a look at what Trey Young's doing recently.
Assist wise.
Just in general, I mean, they're playing well off each other. You know, Trey Young had 10 assists in the Brooklyn game. He only had 3 against Boston. We know Boston's a tough team, but you look at the Dallas game, 10 assists there, right? And then pretty much the guys average about 5.5 to 6 assists a game.
Yeah.
These two guys are playing well with each other right now. And the thing is John Wall's not a great defender, and neither is Bradley Beal. Trevor Ariza is a really good defender, but Trevor Ariza, if he plays tomorrow, I think Collins is a mismatch for Ariza.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that, I mean, the two guys that you look at on Atlanta are, like you said, they're playing well together. You can do like a mini game, a mini little stack, and you go Trey Young with Collins. I think that's something that you can do tomorrow. Those are probably the guys that I'm looking at for Atlanta.
Yeah, I think that there's an opportunity for Kent Bazemore to have a really solid game tomorrow too.
Yeah, see, I was looking at Kent. Like I said, my only thing is, I mean, I like Kent Bazemore. He's been killing it. That's for sure. Hey, just like my boy Todd was saying in the chat, he said, like, every time I pick Wall, he sucks. Hey, for me, every time I pick Wall, he sucks, and every time I pick Ken Bazemore, he sucks. He can be on a roll. I pick him. I just have bad luck with them. At a 6,800 price tag, I'm just a little bit scared of it, but I definitely understand the play for sure.
Real quick, Ariza is not on FanDuel. I'll have to look and see if he's on DK, but Ariza is not in play. So make sure you don't fall for the trap of Jeff Green, Sam Decker, or Satoransky. They should all take a hit tomorrow if Ariza, in fact, starts and plays.
Right. All right, so next one we're going to go to is going to be Los Angeles Lakers going into Brooklyn to face the Nets. This game has a 227.5 over-under, and the Lakers are favored by 2. And they just lost, correct, to Washington?
Yes.
All right, cool. Okay, go ahead and get us started, man. You got the Lakers side of things. I'm a little mad right now.
Lance Stevenson, you can see in his previous 3 games getting 22 minutes. This guy's like a slate breaker tomorrow at 4,300. I think he does deserve some ownership in tournaments. Brandon Ingram's still out. JaVale McGee is questionable. I believe it's with an illness. Lonzo Ball has played a lot better as of late. You can look at his game log here and see 34 minutes, 34 minutes, 34 minutes, 37 minutes. Since Ingram's gone down, and then he's played really well other than the Houston game with 21.6. That was really a LeBron game, but 53 against Charlotte, even 28. His price tag was 6,400 to produce 28. So I like Lonzo Ball at 6,800. Seems like a very fair price. The exciting stuff outside of LeBron for the Lakers is really on the other side with D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, on the Brooklyn side of things, every time I think about Brooklyn now, I think about 2 guys. I mean, first thing first, you got Spencer Dinwiddie, the point guard. The guy, he comes off the bench, but he gets his minutes. They love playing this guy off the bench. He's like the 6th man for them pretty much. It plays a ton of minutes. The guy's consistent. He's had, 25 fantasy points minimum in 6, 7 straight games. He's giving you a solid floor. He has upside. He's shown us that with his 47-point outing against Philadelphia. 7,100 price tag. His price tag is starting to creep up a little bit. He definitely deserves it with how he's been playing. For me, he's strictly a GPP just based on the price tag being a little bit higher. And D'Angelo Russell, 7,300. I mean, this guy is the leader of their team. Straight up. This guy had a game where he shot 30 times in the game, and they didn't say nothing to him. He has unlimited green light. He has some upside. The thing about him is he's a super volatile player. He has his ups. When he has his ups there, he has monster games. But when he has his down, then he kind of has his really down games. And that's really what scares me with him a little bit. But I'm going to be honest, I love him in this spot. 7,300 revenge game going against the Lakers, the team that drafted him and they traded him to the Nets. It's funny, bro. I was just watching a highlight video yesterday, and it was a highlight video of the Lakers. Remember when he snitched on Nick Young?
Yeah.
Bro, I was watching a video of the very next game after that happened. It was showing a video of, they were playing, they're in the middle of a game, and it was like Kobe and a bunch of the other Lakers, and they're passing it to everybody. And this was D'Angelo Russell's by himself in the corner just waving, and nobody would pass it to him because like everybody was pissed about what happened.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro. But yeah, no, so I like him in this spot though. I definitely think this dude has some upside. Yeah, I honestly think he's probably going to be a chalk play for sure.
Yeah.
And then let me see real quick. I don't know what I want to do with this Joe Carroll. I'm sorry, Joe Harris, Damari Carroll kind of situation. I like the call that you said on Lance. I think he's a guy that Lance has some upside, bro. If he gets the minutes, we know that for sure. And he's actually been playing down the stretch as well. So I think that if I was going to look at any of the three between Harris, Carroll, Stevenson, I'd probably look more Stevenson that route as well. Hollis Jefferson, he's a guy, we know he has upside. He has 40 fantasy point upside. It's all about minutes with him. And, it's like, 3 of the past 5 games, he got 32 minutes. So, we'll be like, cool, yeah, we like that. This will be a great spot for him in an up-tempo game against the Lakers. But then if you look at the Atlanta game, Philadelphia game, OKC and Cleveland, he only got 22 minutes. And if, 22 minutes, I don't think it's really going to get us where we need in 22 minutes. We see that. So I just don't know. Like, I don't like really kind of chasing guys if I don't know the minutes. I definitely think you throw him in a couple of GPPs. Definitely has some upside. Ed Davis has been playing pretty well, 4,100. We need about 20 for him to hit
Former
value.
Laker as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I like him. So we need 20 for him to hit value, and he's got you at least 17 in the past 5 games. And the minutes are starting to trend up. He's got 29 and 28 minutes in 2 of the past 3 games. They really like this guy. He does have upside. I think he's a guy you could throw in your lineup to use as a pump play with some upside. I like him, and that's really where I'm at. I'm not really. People always talk about this guy Jarrett Allen. I'm not really a Jarrett Allen fan. The guy's just way too inconsistent for me. So I think the top plays on Brooklyn definitely is Dinwiddie. Gotta really, really love Russell. And then I think I like Ed Davis as well.
Right on.
Cool. Covered everybody you're thinking about?
I think that game's gonna have quite a bit of ownership. I think that'll be probably one of the better games on the slate.
Hey, how old are you gonna say Russell is tomorrow? 50
cash or tournaments? Cash?
50, 60?
65%.
Yeah, but that's what I hate about fucking NBA this season, bro. It's just been so much chalk, bro. So much chalk.
I think you're gonna see John Wall, LeBron James, and D'Angelo Russell be the centerpieces to a lot of lineups tomorrow.
Yeah, it makes sense though. All right, so moving on, we're gonna hit the final game of the night. It's the Dallas Mavericks going into Denver to face the Nuggets. This game has a 207 over under, and Denver's favored by 5 in this one.
Yeah, man, this might as well be the game time decision game because you got Dennis Smith Jr., you got JJ Barea, their game time decisions. There's so many guys that are missing and hurt from the Denver side of it. Kleber, he's a game time decision. There's all kinds of things in play here for Dallas. It looks like Barea, he's a game time decision once again with the ankle injury. So there's 2 guys that benefit from that. One of them, the guy that they've rolled out in the starting lineup recently, is Jalen Brunson, 4,500. The guy doesn't take enough shots, though, for 4,500. He just doesn't. He's been in some really good situations without these guys, and he's only taken like 2 shots. So, I'm not really looking to play him even for salary relief. If he was minimum value, you could load him up as a pump play. Problem is, this is a 9 o'clock game. It's the last game on the slate. Lineup lock, 2 hours after lineup lock. You may not know anything about these guys, so it's going to be a really difficult situation from an exposure standpoint. The guy that I'm going to play tomorrow will be Doncic. 18-7 over his last 5 games, averaging 37.6 fantasy points over his last 5 games. The problem I have here is that Denver still, with all these injuries, is still fourth in defensive efficiency. So it's really difficult to load some of these guys up. It really feels like a good spot to load up a little bit of Wesley Matthews. And then you have to mention Harrison Barnes, 31 minutes. The guy can knock down shots from outside. The guy can post up. He can do, get you rebounds. He's like a poor man's Kevin Durant, really. But 5,600 for him on the slate, I think, is a fair price. Outside of that, this is really a wait and see what happens and what unfolds. If Barea is out and Dennis Smith Jr. is out, then Devin Harris becomes a really solid pump play at point guard. He becomes a drop spot play. Just load him in and play him as your upside drop spot at your point guard too.
Yeah, man. And then on the Denver side of things, Jamal Murray definitely is in play. I just don't like the fact he's 8,000. I hate that price tag on him. The guy has some upside, but look at you, 8,000. You need 40 just for him to hit value, and he hasn't got 40 in the past 5 games and one time in the past 7. I just don't like the price tag on him. This is a perfect example of a small slate, so the prices are a little boosted. But one thing that I do got to give him credit for is he is getting a shitload of minutes. 36, 37, a 40-minute game. Like, the guy's on the floor a lot. So if you're on the floor, it's going to equal some fantasy points. So you got to consider him.
They literally tomorrow are going to have, if you want to count Malik Beasley and Nick Young, they're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 guys on their bench because they've got Barton out, Millsap out. He's hurt. Gary Harris, Isaiah Thomas hasn't played. This dude Michael Porter they brought in hasn't played. Jared Vanderbilt, nobody's heard of. They have 9 guys if you want to count Nick Young. So
Right.
They've really got 8. Monte Morris is probably one of the better plays on this slate for tournaments at 5,700 for salary relief. But bro, they just don't have anybody. Like, they just don't have any players right now.
Yeah, no, I like Monte Morris. He has some upside. He's been playing well, and he has been getting a lot of minutes. I think he is one of the better plays on the slate. Fair price tag, 5,700. I think he's a really good cash game play. And I really like this guy, Torrey Craig, 4,200. He doesn't do nothing exciting, but I like the fact this guy is pretty much really close to pump play kind of area, and
Yeah,
he's
30 minutes. 30 minutes. He's giving you 30
31,
minutes and he's starting.
35 and 39 in 3 of the past 4. So I definitely think he has a little bit of upside. Like you said, they don't have nobody. So, the guy's getting a ton of run, cheap price tag. Juan Herman Gomez is possibly out as well. I think that gives even more minutes to Monte Morris. He'll play some small forward. Trey Lyles, I like the guy. The problem is one day they want to give him minutes, the next day they don't. They're just so inconsistent. Definitely think he's a solid GPP play. But as you can see, in 2 of the past 4 games, he's got at least 30 minutes. But the other 2, he got 13 and 22. So the minutes are just kind of all over the place.
Let me ask you a question, bro. Let me ask you a question.
What happened?
Hernan Gomez has an abdominal injury. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
He's listed as questionable. Given the way things have gone recently with Fanduel and guys that are getting late scratched and end up not playing, and there's nothing you can do with them at 5,400, do you play him tomorrow at all in any format?
I'm not.
If he's questionable 15 minutes before a lock, do you play him tomorrow?
If it's questionable, 15. Well, I have to see if it's trending. If there's a probable or doubtful, or if it's a true game time decision, then I'll probably maybe go 2 or 3 liners with them. He's going to be 2% on, 3% on. But that's on. But we're probably going to know in the day if he's more leaning probable or doubtful. You know what I mean? You kind of make your decision from there.
It's just crazy right now. Because to me, that's one of the most key pieces of news tomorrow to find out if that dude's out. Because if he's out, you have to play tomorrow at a high percentage, high exposure rate, Torrey Craig and Monte Morris. You have to.
Right. Oh, for sure. And there's I'm going to be honest, I don't like Jokic. 11.1. He's been playing very well, I understand. But he's going to be going against DeAndre Jordan. And DeAndre Jordan isn't a pushover. He's not a guy I really want to attack. So, Jokic – I mean, I understand you throw him in a couple of GPP lineups, and he has some upsides. Been playing very well. They're going to need him on the floor, but this is just a very bad matchup going against DeAndre Jordan, in my opinion. I just don't. I mean, DeAndre Jordan, he's not even the best defender. I mean, he's just a big body that makes it hard to kind of shoot the ball over, etc. I mean, do you like Jokic at all?
I do like Jokic because for a couple reasons. One, I think people will not pay up 11-1 for him tomorrow. I think people will look at DeAndre Jordan at 7,000 coming off a really good game that he just had. I think that you look at the slate and you got Dwayne Dedman, who just had a really good game. You got Miles Turner. I think people will not spend up for him. You look at a condensed slate, and when there's a couple of guys that are like really obvious popular plays, like a John Wall or LeBron James playing Brooklyn, I think people look to pay there. And I think a lot of it's going to depend on Hernangomez, because I get the fact that, we have the rule, don't play two big guys against each other. I agree DeAndre Jordan is not a pushover. But Jokic is such a skilled big man as far as assists, block shots, rebounds. I mean, the guy brings the ball up a lot. You know what I mean? I mean, the guy has a very high usage rate. So I don't mind Jokic tomorrow, especially if Hernangomez is out and now you're looking at like a 7-man rotation.
Right. But then if he gets in foul trouble, then what do they do? Play Mason Plumlee for 30 minutes?
That could very well be the guy, right? That could very well be the guy that you roll out tomorrow is Plumlee instead of Jokic, and instead of Trey Lyles, you roll out Plumlee.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I agree. So that's about it, man. Got through 4 games for tomorrow. Definitely think it's probably a little bit more of a GPP slate. You're going to have some high ownership on a bunch of guys. And that's why I like, when there's pretty much a chalk slate to play, more GPP is you could, max center, use the optimizer, get a bunch of different variations of the night and kind of go from there. But yeah, man, if you haven't already, please make sure to check out the website, dfscheatsheet.com. And hey, Jeremy, thanks for helping me out with this video, man. Good luck on your guys' contest tomorrow. I will be back tomorrow with my NBA core plays for the day. They're pretty much my cash game, my 5 cash game locks that you got to have in your lineups. Jeremy will be over there on the DFS Cheat Sheet YouTube channel, with his GPP core plays for the day. Make sure and go check out that channel as well. Thanks a lot again for watching this. You guys have a good day. Peace out.